There are so many people who are angry. There are so many people who are lonely. There are so many people who are fearful. And I want you to know that every single week I'm here, and I'm Dr. Julian Johnson, your host today, to be able to share with you something interesting and something I hope that you learn about anger. In the chat, in the comments, please, the question for the day is, what is something that you wish you could change if you had all the resources, you had the right team, you had all the finances together? What is one thing you would accomplish? Good morning and welcome again to Word Power. Listen, let me tell you today, I want you to know I'm praying for you, Ian. I'm praying for your company. I'm praying for your family, for your wife, for your kids. And every Saturday morning, I'm here at 10 o'clock just to be able to encourage you. I believe that we've been beat up, beat down, and always asked to do something extra we did not want. And this goal, my goal, is to give you some encouragement, a boost, a lift to get you through the rest of the week. Please follow through on the hashtag Saturday Motivation. And I want to encourage you. Today's word comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26, where the Bible says, and do not sin by letting anger control you. Do not let the sun go down while you are angry. And I would suggest that too many people are walking around angry. Too many people are walking around frustrated. Too many people are walking around lonely. What's up, Jaquanda? We saw you on Tuesday night. Welcome back. And too many people are walking around angry and frustrated because of stuff they cannot control. I want to tell you that the Bible is true and the Bible is sure. Don't let anger control you. The Bible says in one version, be angry and do not sin. So Ian, so Rob, so Jaquanda, how in the world are we supposed to do that? With all the time that we have in our hands, for a lot of people, some people feel like the coronavirus, this pandemic is a prison. But I want to suggest to you, it's an opportunity busting with potential. With all this time, it's an opportunity to think of regrets. It's an opportunity to think of challenges. It's an opportunity to think of frustrations. But some people become energized, but other people become angry. And I'm going to tell you today that the real deal for you and I today is that we can either choose to be angry or upset. So while I was 15, I went to a boarding school, Pine Forge Academy, green and white on the River Manatawny. And during the summers home, I was frustrated. I was like, man, I'm used to doing my own thing. While I'm in high school, boarding school, came home, got so frustrated. My dad said, son, you got an option. You can be angry or you can actually use this moment to grow. So, you don't have a whole lot of a whole lot of things to think about when you're 15. But either doing what your parents say or doing what your parents say. That's the kind of home I grew up in. But the reality is, with a lot of us, we don't need to let anger control us. We got to control it. Some people are angry because they got frustration about their life. Some people have unresolved issues. Some people have unresolved burdens. What's up, SDA Express? What's up, Inspiring Purpose? And I would suggest to you that a lot of people become angry. And I would suggest to you, just like this anonymous quote says, holding on to anger, listen to this, is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Some of y'all got to be like Elsa and just let it go. You got to let it go. Let go of the frustration. Let go of the issues in the past. And I'm telling you, everybody ain't going to hear this, but somebody's going to be set free by something I'm about to tell you in a minute. Hold on. I'm going somewhere today. All right. Then another Barbara DeAngelo says, the more anger towards the past you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving in the present. And I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of people who want love. A lot of people want some time. A lot of people want that TLC, that affection. A lot of people want something that's going to be meaningful to them. But you can't get it because you're still holding on to stuff in the past. In the name of Jesus, let it go. Some of you can't start a business because you're mad about the last business. Some of you can't get past or get promoted on your job while you've seen other people promoted during the pandemic because you're still holding on to stuff. It's not the skills that get you in the job. The skills got you the resume. They get you in the door. But it's the soft skills, the letting go, the being open, the being frustrated. Can you control everything? No, you can't control everything. But I want to let you know that there are some things that have been making you angry. So what kind of things have been making you angry lately? Whether you're on Instagram, whether you're watching on Twitter, wherever you are, what kind of things, put in the chat. some stuff has been making you angry. And I believe that some of it's legitimate. I mean, think about it. When we see our kids and we see this kid's mom get murdered while he's on Zoom, he or she is on Zoom this week, that makes me angry. That makes me angry. And I want to let you know that there are some things that we ought to be angry about. We ought not to be angry at ourselves all the time, but we got to be angry, and we don't have to let anger cause us to do negative things. I think too often, especially in certain communities, ethnic communities, anger is cool. Oh man, he's angry. He's angry. He's angry. What? Guess what? Anger is not always cool. There is something called righteous indignation. Jesus came and turned over the tables in the temple because he got tired of seeing the system be messed up. He got mad at the system. Some of y'all are mad at the system, blaming the man for stuff that you have stuff to do. I remember when I was growing up in church, people would always have these tapes. I'm dating myself, obviously. People would have tapes or music that they would sing to, and then they'd say the devil did it because their tape was messed up or their music was not queued up right. No, it wasn't the devil. It was them. They should have queued up the tape. They should have tested out the tape first. You can't get angry at stuff that you have that other people did to you when it's not their fault. It's your fault. I want to invite you, though, that it's time to do something. And I want you to consider that don't let anger cause you to lose everything you have worked for. Some of you have worked. Some of you have worked by yourself. My father was really a self-made man. I mean, he worked. All my dad knows is work. All he knows is surviving. All he knows is grinding. And where he didn't have a whole lot of fun. Now, he's going to watch this later and tell me it's the truth. But the thing is, don't let anger cause you to lose everything you work for. I want to invite you to consider that it's time to do something, though. You got to do something. And I'm telling you, what is that something? And I'm going to get to it. Before we get to that, this phrase is going to turn your mind inside out. And Noah, you got to listen to this. So I was in clinical work. I was getting therapy. I was doing 2,500 clinical hours. And I heard this phrase that caused me to reconsider what depression was. And there's some people who are depressed, some people who are frustrated, some people who are lonely, some people who are bitter, Noah, and you got to listen to this. Please listen to this. Now, when I saw this phrase, it changed my whole mind about depression and frustration. Here's the system. Some people wonder, where's the system? Here is the system. If you can get this, then your life, I promise you, will change 180. All right. So I learned that depression equals anger turned inward. So if you can find the source of the anger, then it is possible for you to find the source of depression. Now you're looking at somebody who was depressed, somebody who was frustrated, somebody who was lonely, angry, upset at everybody else. But I started to find out why I was angry. And the reasons I was angry, whether I was angry at people who I thought should have been there for me, situations, but then I realized they were doing all they could do. They were doing everything that they could do, all that was in their control. But if you realize the point of your anger and why you are angry, I promise you that will be the point to set you free. And when you realize you get that point of freedom, what's up, Valton? You get that point of freedom that you find out what you're angry about, then you'll start to feel free from that thing. Now, I'm going to talk to you in a moment about some things about how to be able to truly break free from what you're dealing with. But check this out. You might need to take a picture of it. But depression equals anger turned inward. And when you start turning that anger outward and turning it on its side, you'll start to see there's a reality there that you never thought possible. Now, I'll be honest with you that some of you, all you know is being angry. All you know is being angry. You angry at people. I met this lady not too long ago, and she told me, Julian, anger is the only thing that's keeping me alive. Well, I agree with that. But on the other side, on the break, I'm going to tell you some things that's going to get you angry, but also help you to do something with that anger. Some of you are so full of so much passion, so much intellect, and so much energy. It's time to do something with it. And we're going to talk about what to do with it after these special messages. Well, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank you for being here today. But I also want to share with you some wonderful things that are going on every Wednesday night We have something called the network. And Ian, I need you to be on the network. Vegan Rainstorm join. What's up, Vegan Rainstorm? Vegan Rainstorm. Come on the network and tell us about what's going on. This week, Lola Moore talked to us about personal growth. This week, we're having Dr. JD Doggett Jr. talk about the virtual experience and how to maximize your virtual presence during this time. And then also, please feel free to connect on Built to Thrive Instagram, at Twitter, on YouTube, and also on Facebook. I also want to let you know that coming up soon, also on Facebook, on YouTube, there's Finding Your Purpose, 5 minutes on purpose every single week. Please tune in for another broadcast on the Built to Thrive page and also the Built to Thrive Discovery Guide. Finally, you might want to listen to some inspiration during the week. We have the Built to Thrive podcast. Please listen, tune in, subscribe, like, and share it with everybody you know. I need your feedback, but I need you to be blessed and transformed. All right, we're back. So we talked about the fact that depression is anger turned inward. And the reality is that most of us are afraid of anger or afraid to be perceived as angry because we've seen people go crazy, scream, shout, have convulsions while they're angry. And some of you have been angry inside has been eating you alive. And I would suggest to you that so many people want to do something with their anger, but they just don't know what to do. Well, I got some suggestions to help you know what to do. Now, number one, anger is fuel for innovation. Now, if you're angry about something, do something about it. Anger, number two is fuel for action. You got to go for it. And then number three, anger is fuel for creativity. Now, how was all this played out? The day George Floyd died, the United States, the world went crazy. People marching all over the world. People who were of different ethnicities, of different backgrounds, of different cultures, all rallied around together just for one thing. They wanted to do something. So they innovated and went to the streets in the middle of a pandemic. They caused this death of George Floyd, this 846, as a fuel for action. They caused this as a fuel for creativity to come together. And I would suggest to you that there are some rules for anger into action. And then these are three simple rules. So now I want somebody to quote me on this. Listen, if it's immoral, if it's illegal, if it's unethical, don't do it. Otherwise, you got to realize that there's an opportunity there for you. If it's not immoral, if it's not illegal, or if it's not unethical, hey, why not try it? And I'll tell you that I grew a church about 500% as a result of these three simple principles that I learned from Pucky Fordham back in the day. All right, so one thing that makes me angry is being stagnant. I'm on a constant quest for growth. I don't want to be around anybody who don't want to grow, people who are afraid. What's up, Ebony Liddell? I want to be around people who want to see themselves as productive and want to try. I'm telling you that it's opportunity. Every day we have breath in our body is an opportunity for us to try. Ebony, stop sitting on your ideas and do something about it. Julian, stop sitting on your ideas and do something about it. Each and every one of us has a calling to do something. We've got some ways to be able to continue to grow. But I'm going to tell you, the longer that we sit, the longer that you sulk, the longer that you wait for somebody else to do something, you're going to be angry because time is fodder for anger. You could sit and be angry and think of all the mistakes, the mistakes others have made, but you got to release yourself from that anger. I'm telling you, there's tons of things to be angry about. There's a lot to be angry about. But the reality is you got to find ways to channel your anger. Then, how do you channel your anger? And what kind of things can you do for your anger, with your anger this year in 2020? Number one, vote. Please exercise your right to vote. I don't care if you like the candidates or not. People died so you could go and put your pen on a piece of paper and vote. People all over this country wanted you to be able to have a right to do something they could not do. So get up and vote. And then second, fill out the census. Listen, half of our communities get funded as a result of us filling out the census. Filling out the census honestly, so we can get programmed. You mad at the kids that they can't have school? You mad your kid can't have a computer? Well, you didn't fill out the census last time, so why get mad now? I'm telling you, fill out the census. It's an opportunity for us to be able to grow, for you to be able to do something with time on your hands. Then next, help somebody out. People need some help. People need some encouragement. Then next, you have the power to change the world. There's some people who are so frustrated about things going on around them. There's some people who are so frustrated about things happening to them. but anger is an emotion that has to be used for the good. Then next, run for office. There's some people, you got ideas. You might just be running for office at church. You might run for office in the community. You might run for office in your club, but do something about it. Run for office. Next, donate to a cause. Finally, create a movement. This past Tuesday night, you got to watch it. Lola Moore was talking about the fact that she felt like she had the right ideas, but didn't feel there's a place for her. So she created a movement, the Bloom Experience. So please, please, please. And then show up. Your presence means more than you know. Some people don't show up because they're angry. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be around anybody. Listen, I've been there before. But let me tell you, your presence means a million things when you just show up. And I'm telling you that the reality is that some of us are afraid to show up because we don't want to see the things happen in our life. What's up, honey bunny? The reality is that sometimes we are afraid to kind of talk about what's going on with us because we're afraid. Then next, I'm going to tell you the last couple things. I want you to use your anger for energy. Don't be afraid to use your anger. The Bible encourages us very clearly. Be angry. Don't sin. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. Let it go. With all the time on your hands, think you got time to think of regrets. And I want to do a quick recap. Use your anger for innovation. Use your anger for action. Use your anger for creativity. Finally, I want to let you know this quote that's going to stick with you all week long. I hope it sticks with you. That holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Let it go. And the anger that you carry in the past, anger toward the past that you carry in your heart, the less capable you are of loving and living in the present. I hope that you have a great rest of the day. Please, Jackie McKee, Jaquanda McKee, please know that I'm praying for you today. And I'm praying that God would bless each and every one of you abundantly. I pray that God would shower down on you blessings that you can't even receive. And I hope, Footman Joe, that you hear everything I said today, because I know God has a blessing today with your name on it. Please share this with a friend. Please like, subscribe, or share this podcast, this video podcast, this encouraging word for the week with a friend of yours. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Until Wednesday night, I'll see you on the network. Have a great rest of your day.